Hey everybody, how you doing today? I am Tyler. I'm back with another episode of DIS Arcade, and today I have a special episode. It is not a Disney game, it's not even a Disney character. I know, tricky, right? It'll all make sense, trust me. This is Cuphead, and this game is all based on cartoons from the 1930s. So what I've done is I have gone through and watched every silly Symphony, every Mickey short from the 30s, and I have come up with a bunch of examples, a bunch of direct influences, if you will, that will show you exactly, it's like, this is directly influenced from this. Like, there's no doubt about it. So let's get into it. Cuphead is based on, for anybody who knows games, it's kind of like a Contra or something like that. I have a whole game going here that we'll get to, but I actually want to start a new game so that you can see this was all hand animated. This is a real book that they made, and I want you, this is kind of the story here. I want you to notice that there's a lot of, we have some direct things here. I mean, a lot of stories like Mother Goose Goes to Hollywood and Old King Cole, they start with books. And here's a few examples here. And let's just get through here. Basically, the story goes, Cuphead and Mugman are kind of notorious gamblers. I'm not going to read this whole thing out, but they are gambling in the Devil's Casino. And, you know, obviously that's not the greatest idea. They put up their souls, and they make a deal with the devil. And, of course, Mugman, look at him. He doesn't look so happy about this choice. Again, these every time the page flips and everything, look at this. They made a whole book, a real book. And, of course, the devil wins. So, what do we end up doing? He makes us go and repossess souls, and it kicks us out the casino. So there you go. That's the intro to the game, and now I'm kind of out in this open wilderness that is all this is all once again hand drawn. I think the coloring might be the only thing that they did digitally, but this game works as basically each of these little moving around places is like a different boss, and I'm gonna go through a few of the bosses that are most influenced from Disney cartoons. One of them will be this one, but we're gonna start with this, what's his name? Grande? Yes. And we're gonna start with him. This game is based on Contra, like I was saying. Not based on Contra, but it's sort of like a Contra type of game where you're shooting on a 2D plane. But I want you to really pay close attention to the background here. It really looks like a lot of Disney cartoons, but really in particular, Little Hiawatha, just really, I don't know, it's a really beautiful cartoon, and this background really reminds me of that. So, as you can see, one of the things I'm doing is just shooting this guy. I'm using this boss as like showing you a couple of the mechanics for this game. I'm using this roundabout because it's a little bit more powerful, and I just like to be able to like run away from the guy and shoot at the same time. I'm also doing this like teleporting maneuver. As you can see, when I press the trigger, I can kind of teleport real quickly. And as you can see, this game is just beautiful. I don't know how else to describe it. It has got this. The hand animation is one of the things that made it take forever to come out. This game was definitely talked about at E3 as long as like 4 years ago, I believe. So. Yeah, there you go. That's the first boss right there, Grande. Hopefully you saw the comparisons to Little Hiawatha. So the next one I want to show you guys is Ribby and Croaks, and this is a couple frog brothers here. I want you to pay attention to the background again on this one because there's a couple good examples like from the spider and the fly. I mean, I think these characters look a lot like that. And then there's also Woodland Cafe. This is by the way, if I didn't say it already, I didn't say it already. This is a hard game, so for me to talk about this stuff and play the game at the same time, it's going to be tough, but I think I can accomplish it. So that's why there's going to be cuts here and there, because I don't want to show you me stumbling over my words and failing and whatnot, but oh, there we go. There's a couple other things, like the grasshopper and the ants is really another great example, I think. And then also, like, if you see the loop in the background, look at, like, pay attention to how the animation just kind of loops. Like, you can see in Father Noah's Ark, that was like a big thing in the 30s. That kind of stuff. You know, these big open spaces with lots of characters moving was kind of impressive. And they had to, since there were so many characters, they obviously had to do a loop of the animations. Oh, this is one of the hardest ones. One of the things I forgot to mention is that anytime there's something pink, I can do a parry maneuver, like that, see? And I just have to do a double tap on the jump, and I can get a parry off, and that powers up my special so that I can do that big giant blast that I just did right there. There we go. And that is the end of River and Croaks. Oh, I forgot to mention Night. Check out Night. You can see that those frogs are very similar. I mean, the way they move and everything. So Night is another one where I was like, wow, these frogs, they move a lot like the other frogs. So that is going to do it for Ribbit and Croaks. All right, guys, on to the next boss now. This one is going to be Baroness Von Bon Bon in Sugarland Shimmy. She's kind of tough. She has a bunch of henchmen that she sends out, so we have to get kind of lucky because I want to see certain henchmen. Here's one of them. This guy, I mean, he's directly from the Cookie Carnival, I have to say. Look at him. Get out of here, Jawbreaker. Nobody wants you. And then there's also a cupcake from the Cookie Carnival that I hope we get to see. There he is. Thank goodness. Now we just have to hope that we can play well and not get too hurt by this cupcake. You got to be careful of the goop that comes out of him, too. This whole idea also seems like it just came from the Hot Chocolate Soldiers. If you look, it's just, you know, candy fortresses, you know, candy rulers. So, looks pretty cool. Oh gosh, I love her candy shotgun. I think that's cool. So, we are getting close to the end of this battle. Take this. Once we get 5 cards on the bottom there, then I can use that super special Cuphead maneuver where I don't even know what I'm blasting all over. Let's not even comment. I can parry off of these, luckily. There we go. That is the end of her. She didn't even stand a chance. Goodbye. And it shows us our score here and everything at the end. Let's see what we got. Ooh, A-. Hey, that's my brand new record. That's like the best I've ever done. And I was talking to you guys the whole time, so look at that. I'm playing it on normal. There's a hard mode as well, too, but I will not be attempting that on this video. All right, guys, so the next boss I want to fight now is Wally Marble in Aviary Action. He's a different type of boss than the last ones we fought because instead of keeping your feet on the ground, you're in this airplane. Instead of being able to kind of do that dodge like I could do previously, I can get myself smaller like that. So, and that helps me go a little bit faster, but I just can't shoot as far. So there's an upside and a downside. I can still parry pink things, so I'm going to want to keep an eye on these pink birds, and I missed that one. It's not always easy to parry stuff, so sometimes I just won't try. You know, it really just gives you your special faster, and that, in this case, turns me into a big bomb like that. So when I'm in the airplane, instead of shooting out that big thing like I did previously, I turn into a big bomb. Now this boss reminds me of the Clock Shop from the 30s, obviously. The Clock Shop has a lot of cuckoo clocks around, and just, I don't know, they make the same exact noise that this guy does when he's, you know, coming out of the clock and everything, so this is one of the parts that is actually seems fairly easy, but is kind of tough for me, so I really need to pay attention. Take that. Oh gosh. Oh boy. This boss is not easy. None of these bosses are easy. I don't know how I'm continuing conversation with you all, to be honest. Oh, there we go. Get out of here. Get out of here. Nobody wants you. So this, I mean, if this is not directly inspired from Who Killed Cock Robin, then what is, right? Let's be honest. It looks right out of the pages. All right. We'll hit him with one more bomb and hope that that'll do it. Nope. No, that did not do it. Let's not get stuck in here. Oh, we're in a bad place now. We're stuck. Let's just hope he dies. Oh, wow. Oh, so they're gonna eat him. That's a little sick in the head, if you ask me. They're gonna eat it, their little friend there that they were trying to carry. But I like that boss. I don't know why. He's one of my favorites. So yeah, let's see how we did. Hey, that's pretty good. So yeah, let's get on to the next boss. Alright guys, so the next boss I want to show you is the bane of my existence. I don't even know if I'm going to beat it. I just want to show you all the different forms of it. It is Grim Matchstick and Fiery Frolic, and we're going back to being on the ground, technically, I guess. We're on these clouds. I think this is one of the hardest parts for me, is that we're on these clouds. But I really think this boss is cool because of the background. It looks like a computer-generated model, but it's not. It's actually handmade. It was a hand-built model that they then took pictures of and put in the back of the game. So it looks like they may be cheating at a certain point because they say, "Oh yeah, this is a completely hand-drawn game." Well, that is a handmade model. So there you go. I think that's really cool. I managed to parry that last ring, thank goodness. So here's what I want you to pay attention to when it comes to the Disney cartoons. We're going to try and hit this guy real quick with the... Hopefully this works. There we go. The fire, the dancing fire. As you can see, there's a lot of examples in the 30s. There's flowers. What is it called? Flowers and trees. Oh boy. We're taking a lot of damage because I'm talking to you guys. There's also Mickey's Fire Brigade, where the fire, again, is alive and it is coming to fight our heroes. And then there is, of course, Elmer the Elephant, where he falls in love with a little tigress, and he saves the day in the end. So, but yeah, this guy, I don't know why he's so tough for me, but he really, really is. I think it has to do with the clouds. We're not even hitting him, as you can see. We haven't even been hitting him. There we go. Got a couple hits in. I'm just afraid of stopping because as soon as we stop for too long, I'm going to get hit by the fire. Okay. Woo! Thank goodness we got on to the next. And this part reminds me of the old mill. This part really reminds me of the old mill. Look at the rain, and we lost. I'm not going to go back and play it again, but if you look at the rain, the old mill is one of the classics. If you used to go on the storybook canals in Disneyland, they had an old mill section for years, but they've actually gotten rid of it to put Arendelle in there. So anyway, that's Grim Matchstick. I'm not going to beat him. I hate him. I hate him. But we're going to go on to the next boss now, so let's do that. I also wanted to point out, before we move on to the next boss, that it's not exactly the same by any means, but I feel like it's a similar idea to Music Land. If you look around the world map, it's, it's kind of a small, contained world that has kind of a weird scale to it. I mean, we're as big as this house, right? So, and it really does look like Music Land to me, so I think that's something to keep in mind. But along with the world map, there's also a shop you can go into, and this guy, Pork Rind, reminds me so much of King Midas from the Golden Touch. They just kind of move in a similar way. Obviously, they don't look the same. The way they're animated is really what I'm looking at, But Pork Rind has some great design, I like that little Miss Piggy he has on the right there. Oh, he just looked at his watch. I don't think I've ever seen him do that before. That's cool. Goodbye. All right, and the next boss I want to do now is Werner Forman in Marine Corps. And he's like a soldier mouse, soldier rat. I don't know what he is, but he looks like Mortimer Mouse to me from Mickey's Rival. Take with that what you will. He looks like a direct resemblance, honestly. And then the other thing, too, that really reminds me of the Silly Symphony cartoon is the can itself. It reminds me of the Wise Little Hen, because and it's not necessarily a tank, but these little chicks are using it to water the farm. So there you go. Take with that what you will. And we got to be careful here. Whenever he goes up, we go down, and vice versa. But we got to be careful of the... There we go. Woo! Okay, on to the last form. And the cat. And the cat really reminds me of the cat from The Country Cousin. He's like exactly the same. And you can really see where the influences come in from these cartoons. And something I didn't mention in the beginning is obviously a lot of the influence also comes from the Fleischer Studios, you know, responsible for things such as Popeye and Betty Boop. And that could be a whole nother video someday, but today we're just talking about the Disney stuff. And it's a twist. He was alive the whole time. He was still in control. The cat was a robot. Let's see how well we did. Our top grade was a B- in the past, so maybe I did better. Probably not. A B! I did better. There you go. So that is Werner Forman. On to the next boss. All right, guys. The next boss I want to do is Callum Area in High Seas Hijinks. And this one is a lot like Wally Marble's, where we were in the airplane. So keep that in mind here. And she looks, I mean, like she's been directly inspired, not only by like Betty Boop, but like by Mer Babies. And also with Mer Babies, you can see that I'm glad that this guy popped up, this seahorse. I like how he has the actual hooves. That has happened in a couple cartoons, not only in Mer Babies, but also in King Neptune. So, oh gosh, this boss is pretty ridiculous. I'm really lucky right there. Get this pink one. There we go. She has a lot of different combinations of moves that can kind of come together to really screw you over, so I'm glad that hasn't happened yet. Boom, take that. And here's our seahorse buddy again. Get another good... Oh, he's getting back. Now that she's in this second form where she's been electrocuted, she has this little dance that she does. Oh boy, she's like a Medusa, so she freezes me. But this little dance she does directly reminds me of a lot of 30s cartoons, but here's one in particular from Lullaby Land. You can see that she dances a lot like these green creepy guys. So, and gotta watch out for, oh boy, it'd be a shame now if we lost at the last second, but we're doing pretty good. Now we've got 2 health left. I think we've got this in the bag. Just don't get hit by anything while we're frozen in stone like that. And then pay attention to when, yeah, look at the poor little guy playing a violin. Play her away, play her away. There we go. How do we do? What was our grade? I think we took a couple hits, so we probably shouldn't do too great. But oh, we got an A. Okay, I'll take it. Why not? I will take it. Now we have one more boss coming up here. Now there's a lot more bosses in the game, but I'm only showing you just the things that really remind me of Disney. You know, Cuphead does a couple things, like, you know, Mickey pulls up his pants and Cuphead does that. It definitely reminds me of a Mickey Mouse character. So the last boss I want to do for you guys today is Sally Stageplay in Dramatic Fanatic. And she has a very olive oil body type, if you can. I mean, obviously she looks like olive oil, but also I think she looks a lot like Mother Goose from Mother Goose Melodies. I think she's heavily inspired by Mother Goose as well. I mean, a younger version, definitely, but and then you saw the asbestos curtain in the beginning, and you'll see it again. And that was something that a lot of theaters did to prevent fires a long time ago, before we realized that asbestos was horrible for us. But you can also see it in cartoons like Mickey's Review and Mickey's Melodrama. So I thought that was kind of cool little touch. This boss is cool because it kind of goes through like her life. You can see she was getting married in the beginning. I like her husband in the background. I don't see him right now, but there he is. He's like, oh god! But she's getting married in the beginning, and then she has a wife, a husband and child, and now she is transcended into godliness, I suppose. Big wave. So you can see in the corner, it tells you like what's going to happen, and then some stuff happens. So, oh boy, got to dodge that lightning. I still like this roundabout. As you can see, I haven't even switched the entire time I've been playing, just because I like it so much that I can be like running away from the boss or whatever and still be doing damage. And it also does more damage than just a regular pea shooter. So, oh, let's not get hit here. All we have to, you know what? I'm going to switch for this one. Now I have the chaser. You can only have two things equipped. I have the chaser, so it just follows her. I don't even have to do any aiming. Just going to shoot her down. And that's it. That's it for Sally stage play. Goodbye. So, let's see how I did here. Hey, I'm doing pretty good today. I'm getting a lot of brand new records. I should talk to you guys more often while I play this. But yeah, that is gonna do it for Cuphead. I really enjoyed putting this one together for you guys. It took a lot of extra work that a lot of DIS arcades don't normally take. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Please tell me if there's any other examples that you saw that you know, from a silly Symphony cartoon or a Mickey Mouse cartoon that you're like, oh, that I've seen that before. Because I think it's really interesting to go back in history and like look at these influences that have just really inspired people to create great things that, I don't know, remind us of our childhood and but also bring something new, you know. So I think that's really cool. So again, guys, I'm Tyler. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.
Well, Cuphead and his pal Bugman, they like to roll the dice. By chance they came on Devil's Game, and gosh, they paid the price. Paid the price. And now they're fighting for their lives on a mission fraught with dread. And if they proceed but don't succeed, well, the devil will take